And this half hour is brought to you by Encore Executive and Professional Coaching. And my guest is Mary O'Sullivan. And she is a results-based coach. She's an executive coach. And she's here, always inspires us. She comes on every month and always inspires us. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Patricia.
Okay, it's great to be with you. You know, before we start, I would like you to talk about this wonderful event that you have coming up. You have a couple of them coming up, actually.
Yes.
One in August and one in October.
Right. The one in August is at the Center for Women and Enterprise, and that is a 2-hour workshop. It's called From Hassle to Happy. And it's going to be, as you mentioned, results-based. I'm going to talk a little bit about what people can actually do in reality to get them unstuck, to get them out of kind of the rut that they're in, whether it's work, career, relationships, or what have you. And then we're going to spend some time, probably about half the time there, working on individual plans to move forward. So, and of course, I'm going to be offering my complimentary sessions to everyone that's at that particular event. So that's August 23rd at the Center for Women in Enterprise. Okay. And again, that one is sort of a truncated version of my half-day workshop, which is coming up in October. And that's really, really going to be exciting because I'm going to go into a lot more detail on the plans that we work on with people individually. And I'm going to have some additional videos. I have a couple of great videos that show kind of what you were talking about with your earlier guest, how the brain and the body work together and influence each other in so many different ways, particularly when you want to make a change. You have to have the right mindset. So we're going to talk about beliefs and mindset. And to help people with that, not only are they going to walk out with a plan in their hand, a good plan, maybe 4 or 5 pages to start, but also during the day, I'm offering some very special guests. And actually, these folks are going to be addressing my audience there, that whoever signs up for this particular workshop. I'm going to have a stylist who will help them with wardrobe choices. And this particular person does not recommend going out and buying a bunch of new clothes. She talks about merely using what you have in a better way, whether it's shoes, handbags, if you have a pencil skirt you haven't worn in years, or a scarf, she's going to help you put all that together. I'm also having an etiquette specialist because one of the things that I find in my business working with clients is that they really, in order to get out of sort of where they are and get unstuck, they don't have the manners that it takes. And they may have everything else going for them, but they just don't have that sense of etiquette, that sense of poise that can propel them into the next stage. I'm also hoping to have a networking person there who can give a lot of advice about how to do networking, what happens in a network situation. Again, people don't know what to do when they get into a room of 50 or 60 people, particularly if they're new to that particular type of venue. People can freeze, as you know. We've all gone through that. I'm also offering a traveling chef who will be giving samples of her food because the hotel, of course, is not going to permit her to create food there. But they will be, the chef will be offering samples, and this person will come to your home and cook for you, or she will deliver food to your door. So that's just a sample of some of the things that we're doing. It's going to be a really, really exciting day.
At the Crown Plaza?
At the Crown Plaza, October 1st from
Saturday.
8:30. It's a Saturday, so you don't have to worry about taking any time off from work at all. So it's 8:30 to 1. Tickets are on Eventbrite. I am going to be offering a bring a friend rate. That will be going up pretty soon. It'll be less. If you bring a friend, it will be about $50 less than the price that's up there right now, but it has to take 2 people to walk through the door with that price. So bring a friend. you'll get $50 off. You and the friend will get the $50 off.
That's terrific. So you have quite a bit going on, and then your workshop.
So
workshop will be very much about, as you said, from hassle to happy. So talk about a couple of the components that you will offer in your workshop.
Yes. When I talk, of course, I'm going to be pretty much the focus of the day. These other people are there to help and to speak in an expert fashion, which I'm not on some of these things. But basically what I'm going to talk about is my 4-step process, and this is the plan I was talking about. 4-step process to clarify what you really want and take action to get it. And I think the take action part is the part we struggle with so much, because we can make a lot of plans, but actually doing it is where the work is. So my philosophy is I'm going to teach people how to take small steps to make big change. So similar to what Tori was talking about, you're not going to boil the ocean. You're not going to say, oh my God.
One day at a time.
Yeah, I'm not going to, sometimes 1 hour at a time. I'm not going to try to lose 62 pounds. I'm going to work for a pound a week or whatever it is. I'm going to, exercise more per day, or I'm going to practice not using weak language in my interviewing process, or I'm going to learn a different facial expression when I talk to my boss.
And I think sometimes we don't realize that those little things make such a huge difference. I mean, you and I have talked about this, and even those of us in the field who are professionals teaching a lot of this, we need help from coaches, because we don't, you don't see it when it's yourself, and sometimes that little thing will make a big difference.
Right. And really, Patricia, you really hit the nail on the head, because the truth of the matter is that if you're dedicated to coaching, as I am, you will hire a coach. And I have a business coach, and I also have a peer coach. So I get coached myself, and I can't sit here and coach people without doing the work myself. So I need to get better at things every day, just like everybody else does.
Right. And this is the thing about coaching, and we're going to take a break, but the thing about coaching, Mary, is that it's very proactive. It's looking at where you are today and what can you do next.
And how you can create the future that you want.
Right. Rather than digging up the past, you may look at the past as a way to get to the future, but it's very much proactive moving forward.
The successes of the past.
Yes,
what
very good.
What did you do well that you might want to try to do again?
Yes, that's very
exactly
good.
Right.
All right. You're listening to the Patricia Raskin Show right here on News Talk 630 and 99.7 FM WPRO. We are the voice of Southern New England. My guest is Mary O'Sullivan, and the segment's brought to you by Encore Executive and Professional Coaching. And we're talking about results-based coaching and the 2 wonderful events that Mary's doing in August and in October. Go online and you'll hear all about them and read all about them on CoreExecutiveCoaching.com. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Everyone, we are back. You're listening to the Patricia Raskin Show, and this half hour is brought to you by Encore Executive and Professional Coaching. My guest is Mary O'Sullivan, and she is a results-based coach, and she does a workshop called From Hassle to Happy. And welcome back, Mary.
Thank you, Patricia.
Yeah, and you can find out everything about her upcoming event. She's doing a short-form workshop at Center for Women in Enterprise in August, and you said August 23rd?
August 23rd. That's a Tuesday morning from 10 to 12.
Right. And then Saturday, October 1st, at Crown Plaza will be her half-day workshop where she brings in a lot of other professionals beside herself. And that just sounds wonderful, wonderful, Mary. So, and Mary, one of the things I wanted to say, just to kind of finish up what we were saying, is that, we hear about the word coaching, and many of us feel like, oh, I don't need that. And yet you look at any athlete, look at the Olympics. Look, and world champions. They're embedded with their coach.
Right.
And we don't understand that, those people who are successful, we think, oh, you just know how to do it right. No. We've fallen down many times. We just keep getting up and trying it again and finding people to give us the right advice.
Well, you're absolutely correct there. And I heard a wonderful speaker a couple of weeks ago talk about coaching, and he said, so how many in this room think that 10 out of 10 of the, or how many people think that the top tennis players in the world have coaches. 10 out of 10. So every top 10 tennis player has a coach.
Yeah.
So that's exactly to your point, and that is so important. And it's no shame to say that you need help, because some of the top CEOs in the country, Johnson & Johnson, Boeing, Ford, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, all have executive coaches.
Exactly. And you worked in corporate America.
Yes,
I mean, you were at Raytheon for a long time.
I worked at Raytheon for 12 years, and I worked at Lockheed Martin and General Electric, and my total aerospace career was 30 years.
Wow. So, you really understand. And so anyone, Mary's coaching is great for people in career transition, or you may not be getting the results you want in your job, or you could be an entrepreneur and you want to move forward. Whatever it is that's keeping you stuck.
Right.
Mary can really help you pinpoint it, and she's given me some great advice, and I coach also.
Thank you, Patricia.
No, it's true.
That.
It's funny because, there was just a small piece of advice that you gave me, Mary, and I said, you've got to be kidding. I couldn't figure that. I mean, it was right in front of me. But sometimes, our own perceptions of ourselves and the way we think about things,
right.
We don't think we can do things that we really can do. So,
right. And that's what coaching is supposed to do, is really to hold the mirror up to the client so the client can see their reflection and see what they're really saying and what they really want. And it's not that easy for people to see what they want themselves. Yes. That's exactly why I have my own coach, because what you really want throughout your life is going to shift. So you may think you want something, but maybe that goal is no longer appropriate for you. So that's a very interesting case, particularly with women, because when they are mothers and their kids are small, the kids really need them. And some women just can't get out of that role, and the kids are teenagers, and they're still driving them all over the place, and they wonder why they're so stressed out, or they're making major sacrifices to send kids to college when there's such a thing as, ROTC scholarships, there's such a thing as college loans, and as Susie Orman says, there is no loan for retirement. So if you're at retirement age and you're still paying for your kids' college education, there's something wrong with that picture. And that's, again, one of those belief systems that we grasp onto, which really needs to change. And so on a daily basis, what you want can actually change, because what was appropriate for you when your child was 10 is not appropriate when your child is 20. And people don't get that, and they come into my office so stressed out. There's a very limited ability for human beings to control as many things as we want to control. That's where we get into trouble. We can't be the chauffeur, the gourmet cook, the gardener, the meticulous house cleaner, and the CEO all at the same time. Because people in leadership positions will be the first ones to say, I need help with that.
Well, what you're talking about is really us taking a look at ourselves, and when things aren't going the way we want them to, reaching out for the right professional help. So you also offer 20-minute consultations.
Right. I offer a complimentary 20-minute to 20 to 30-minute, really, because I'm finding the 20-minute consultations do sort of cut people off when they're just at the point of beginning to have an aha moment. So I'm moving between 20 and 30-minute complimentary consultations for folks, and it's amazing what you can learn in that short period of time. I had a woman come into my office for a short consultation. I knew she wasn't going to be able to pay for coaching. She wasn't going to take that step, but I thought it was important to give her the free consultation. And I looked at her resume, and she has a master's degree in English. and the job that she was looking for was a bus monitor. And I said, how does a person with a master's degree who taught in the Providence school system for 5 years get to be a bus monitor, and then that's the first thing you see on the resume? And it really resonated with her. I said, there's so many other things you can do with this because you have more qualifications than most other people. You can do a lot more. And that hadn't occurred to her. For whatever reason, whatever had happened in her life, that was the last thing on her list. When I saw that, to me, her degree was the most important thing on that resume.
Right. So, but see, now that's a perfect example of what you were saying.
Right.
Is that something that she didn't see that you saw immediately?
Right.
And she didn't see it because she had a blind spot around it.
Exactly.
So those are the kinds of things, folks. And the thing that we often don't realize is that little thing, which isn't so little, can make or break your resume and make or break a job, because somebody might look at that and turn on or off just from the first or second line.
Well, she wouldn't have gotten in any place with that particular resume, and I told her she had to redo it and fix it. And if she wanted me to look at it, I'd be happy to do it. But I have not heard from her, and that's fine. But I wonder sometimes, I do worry sometimes about people just going off equipped with as little, tools, with as few tools or as few things to get them through, get them into a good job or a good placement. The other thing that hurts people is they put boundaries around what they're able to do. So when I talk to people about what they want, I hear first what they don't want. So I say, okay, let's draw a box. So you don't want to move. You don't want to work out of your house. You don't want to leave Rhode Island and, whatever else there is, you don't want to have to...
so instead of, you say, what do you want?
So then I say, well, what are your wants? Well, I want a high-paying job. Well, I want to get promoted. Well, I want more free time. And I said, but that contradicts what you've put in this box.
Right. Hear you. Interesting. And
so we can go from there, and people are going to either be willing to think outside the box or they're not. And I hate to see people spend their money, because it's not cheap to be coached for a long period of time, and really not move out of that box.
Okay, so what you're saying, Mary, is the coach can do so much. The coach can coach, but the person has got to do the work.
Well, the person
That's what you're
has
saying.
to do the work, and when I was in coach school, they basically pounded it into our heads, the client does the work.
Right.
And it was sort of like a recording. The client does the work. The client does the work. You're just there to hold up the mirror and to provoke them into thinking a little bit more deeply than they have been.
I find personally, though, that is very motivating to me, because if I have somebody there that's hooting for me or is going to look at what I'm doing and give me some constructive feedback, that just makes me feel more motivated and makes me want to move ahead.
Yes, because you're a person that's open and receptive, and I hope that the people that show up in my office are open and receptive, because if they aren't, it's going to be a long 10 weeks in their coaching sessions.
Right.
The first thing that I have to ask people is, I hope you understand that I am going to challenge you. I am going to prod and poke around your belief system. I want to see what the goal is behind the goal. I might have to sort of pick away at some of that hard shell that you have on the exterior. And that shell builds up over years of what's called life, Patricia.
Right. So the work can be deep, because as you said,
deep,
because you have to look
hard.
at the belief system.
It's hard work.
Right.
People work really hard when they want to make changes.
Yeah. And you, again, are offering complimentary consultations. Let's give out the number.
The number to get in touch with me is 401-742-1965, and there is no gatekeeper. I answer the phone myself, and I make all my own appointments, so you'll be speaking directly with me.
All right. And log on to EncoreExecutiveCoaching.com.
Exactly.
You'll learn about the Tuesday, August 23rd event at Center for Women in Enterprise and the half-day event that's a huge gala on October 1st, 8:30 to 1 at the Crowne Plaza on Saturday.
Exactly, and I'm offering a bring a friend for $50 off each ticket.
Right. Mary, it's always delightful to have you on the program.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be with you, Patricia.
All right. Thanks so much. And
We'll
this program,
soon.
yes, and this program's been brought to you by Encore Executive and Professional Coaching, Mary O'Sullivan. Mary, we'll talk soon.